Hey, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you are doing well, better than the markets for sure. Markets have been, well, apart from the Kiwi, which shot up this morning, been sitting pretty much right across. So I hope you've been well. I think you can see me okay, hear me all right. Put it into the chat and let me know. Good morning, Erwin, how are you doing? Hey, Jumarinas. Hey, Clocks. Hey, Diana. All good. Super. Alrighty. Do remember, if you are new to the session, do drop a message. Say hi. Let me know where you're joining us from. If you are, well, for all the regulars, a big welcome back. Thank you again for joining me on this daily market analysis. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. If you are watching this as a video, as in not on the live stream, you can leave a comment right at the bottom asking questions. I'll reply to you through the comments, or if it's a longer reply, then I'll answer you through the video or the live stream the next time around. Okay? This morning's live, well, streaming since this morning, it's been really quiet. It's been quiet on the chat, it's been quiet on the price movements. I'm hoping that after the CPI number for the UK was just released an hour ago, I'm hoping that later on today we're going to see a little bit more volatility. I'm falling asleep. I literally took a nap just then. So I'm falling asleep. Let's hope it's going to get better later today. You can help me out massively by remember to click on that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions at all, put it into the chat. And hey Linley, how are you doing? Hey Jimmy, hope you're well. Hey Christina, welcome back. Good to have you with us. Now a quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only, as the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to a financial product. Please remember that your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Now, with that said, take that away. Okay, anyone that got into any trades yesterday, last night, today, put it into the chat and let me know. Diana just shared, oh, I haven't been looking. My trade has been running. I haven't been looking at that. BTC is flying. Sorry, I'm just going to jump ahead and look into this first. So, yes, it has. Looking at it on the daily, it is, well, I looked at it a day or 2 days ago. It's still at that 65,500 level. I'm looking for it to get up to that 74, ideally. And beyond that, we might see bigger upside. Where could it get to? So I did do a video on this on the 4th of July, where it was titled Trade of the Week, Buying the Bitcoin Bounce. We were saying that if it bounces off that 56,000 level, we'll look to get in at 58,000 to push to the upside. I'm still running on that. My stop loss has been moved to break even and actually securing some profits. I hope you caught that video. I hope you caught this trade as well. Diana is holding on to Ethereum. I haven't looked at that much. I had a friend who was asking me about 2 days ago about how, whether Ethereum is going to have that big upside move. We were talking about 4,000 to break, and then we could see massive upside. I think we're seeing a lot of a push to the upside on the crypto front, with that increased likelihood that Trump is likely to win. Markets anticipating he's going to win, is going to light a fire below and push the cryptocurrencies further to the upside. So something to look out for. Yes, it is all dragged up by Bitcoin. Let me try and find that. I'm super happy with that video. It was just the right timing that it was sent out when it was done. And I'm trying to do more videos like that, but Yeah, so I'm very happy that we caught that one. Wait, let me see how to do this better. There we go. Stop. Okay. There, that one. Trade of the week, buying the Bitcoin bounce. So I'll put that link in the chat for you guys. If you haven't already watched it, you have to. You should subscribe. You should click on that like button as well, because that's running up very nicely as we were looking for that move. All right, so enough of me saying how fantastic and awesome I am with that Bitcoin trade of the week view. Now, what has happened since the last time we spoke? Firstly, yesterday, got jinxed. US retail sales was not as weak as we expected. It was a 0. When it comes up, it was a 0.1, got revised up to a 0.3. Well, when it was a 0.1, it was expected to be released at a minus 0.3. I was expecting a weaker number, but it came out as flat, and in fact a little bit better than we would have it, because it got revised up. Right, it was 0.1, it got revised up to a 0.3. So firstly, a revision to the upside, and then it was expected to get into that negative range. It came out at 0, so flat but a little bit better than expected. And what we saw on the dollar front was, on release of that news, the dollar went from 104.23 or 104.20 up to 104, about 104.50 before being way outside of the Bollinger Band. You see the dot there, it comes right back in, or came right back in. Okay, so that also was it pushed up a lot more than I expected, but it did come down to that 50% level before pushing back up. So we kind of expected that, for it to push up, come back down. It is almost that pattern, right? It's almost that pattern there. Pushing back down right now, sitting just at that 104.20, no, 104.18, 104.18 price level. So that was with the retail sales number for the US. The Canadian median CPI was released at 2.6. It was a 2.8, got revised down to 2.7. Expected 2.7, came out 2.6. Trimmed CPI was 2.9, expected 2.8, came out at 2.9. CPI month to month 0.6, expected 0.1, got released at a minus 0.1. So what it meant was we had a bit of a mixed bag on the Canadian CPI, but we did see that it is showing some level of a bit of a slowdown in inflation growth, which, go back to the Canadian dollar, we saw at that time, right, at that same time, because the dollar pushed up, right, because the dollar strengthened, we saw this push to the upside, but it failed to break strongly above that 1.37 level, sat there and then pushed right back down again. Now looking like it's trying for that next retest and possible break to the upside. So that was what happened last night. Early this morning, we had the Kiwi CPI, the New Zealand CPI quarter on quarter. It was a 0.6. It's expected, or was expected, to be released at a 0.5. It got released at a 0.4%. CPI growth quarter on quarter went down from a 0.6 to a 0.4%. We were expecting that move. We were expecting that drop, but we were not expecting that move, right, on release. So I put that there. On release of the news, we saw the Kiwi dollar first drop from the 6050 level down to 6034. Small drop to the downside before pushing back up, closing the hour 6067, and then over the next couple of hours at 6080. In the scheme of things, not a huge move. In the scheme of things, not a huge move, but this highlights the importance, crucial importance, that if or when you come to a situation and you see 0.6, 0.5, and 0.4, we were expecting this number to push the Kiwi strongly to the downside, but it didn't happen. Then don't enter a trade. Don't try and force it back down. Don't think that you can sell it there to try and force it down. Data release expected to go down, price went up. Does go, all right, not making sense, not going to enter the trade. Okay, I didn't even see this news because it's at 6:45 a.m. Only saw it after the whole thing happened, but it also came to the point where it's just, I can't explain why it did that. There is that chatter or talk that the RBNZ could deliver some pre-Christmas cheer in November, referring to a possible rate cut in November. So we should be seeing it drop, but we're not. Okay. Then 2 p.m., just 1 hour ago, 1 hour and 12 minutes ago, we saw the UK CPI year on year stay at 2%. It was 2, expected 1.9, expected a small slowdown, stayed at 2%, straightforward on that. Because it didn't slow down, what we saw was the pound dollar at 2 was at that 1.2974 level, pushed up slightly to 1.2986, about 10 plus pips. Now still continuing to the upside. It's still within that range. We're still looking for that breakout to the upside. Okay, so as much as that's happened, we're looking for this to continue. Through that, we have Euro CPI, not too concerned about that. It usually comes out about the same. Building permits for the US tonight used to be a lot bigger news that I'll pay attention to, but not so much now. And then tomorrow morning, Aussie employment numbers to be released. Unemployment rate for the Aussies expected to go from a 4 to a 4.1. That's going to be interesting. Might see some, let me think, might see some weakness to come, right? Employment change could slow down, unemployment rate could increase. Might see some weakness on the Aussie dollar. And then claimant count change, which is the unemployment claim for unemployment benefits, to slow down in the UK, possibly at 2 p.m. tomorrow. We'll talk about that during the stream tomorrow. And then the ECB with their main financing rate likely to stay at 4.25. I'll tell you more about that during tomorrow's session. Okay? So for now, looks like it's going to be relatively straightforward. With that, looking at the charts. Look at the dollar. What's the dollar doing? Okay. No major news for the dollar for the rest of the day. Okay. Thanks for that, Diana. Really appreciate that. Now, with that, okay, dollar moved nicely. So it's done that zigzag, which we had, to a slightly greater extent. Let me take away all the scribbles for now. I don't need that. Okay. There probably is a faster way to delete all that, but I haven't figured it out. We'll keep that one here. We don't need that. I don't need that one there. Take that away. Okay, I'm happy with this. It's coming down. Today being the 17th of July. Dollar index is pushing to the downside. I think, this is one thing that I was just considering about the dollar. We were talking about this over lunch with the guys in the office, right? The dollar seems to be in that uncertainty. It seems to be in that difficult position because what's happening now is monetary policy. Right, we're talking almost a certainty that they're going to cut rates in September. Almost a certainty that they're going to cut rates in September, which could bring the dollar down, which is showing that downside or that weakness on the dollar, right? Like that, which is showing that downside on the dollar. But what's also happening is the how the Trump, right? How Trump is performing in the lead up to the elections seems to be a little bit dollar bullish. The last time he won and got elected, it was dollar bullish. It's expected that if he does win, it's going to be dollar bullish. So it is caught in that. When you look at election, dollar should be bullish, it should be pushing up. If you look at monetary policy, it should be coming down because of a potential rate cut decision in September. So it's right in that, we're seeing that zigzaggy fashion at this point. Okay, so that's what I'm concerning myself with right now. But when we look at it on a day-to-day basis, the main thing here is that we still want to see a reaction here at this 104 support level, right? Which is very key. It's a very key level because we do have that 61.8 from that longer term move to the upside. So it's important there. And we're still waiting for that point. Okay, that's fair. Let's zoom back in. All right, so what we're looking at here is 17th. I anticipate that we could actually see it test, bounce, and then test again that way, right? Because we do have this, and I don't see any big reason why it should drop now, right? No major news to cause it to push to the downside. Maybe more likely tomorrow, if the euro does hold, we might see it maybe gain a little bit to the upside. Yeah, so I do see that. Okay, so what I'm looking at here on the dollar is that retest 104 round number support. Okay, if price break 104, could trade down to 103.50. So we're looking for a reaction at this point. If it breaks, then we could see it trade down to 103.50. But the first line is the important one, is look for price to retest support and look at reaction. Right? If it breaks that 104 support, then we could see that further downside. Now, with that said, then I really like this. If I'm going to jump straight first to the pound, because I see that happening there right now, is pound 1.3. You can do it a little bit higher, 1.3010, stop loss 20, take profit 70, 80 to the upside. I'm quite keen on this. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. That's why I'm quite keen on this. There might be a small hesitation here. Yeah, might be a small hesitation, but we're looking at that push. Okay, so back to the current again. Sorry, I'm just jumping the gun. Jumping ahead first, I'm looking at pound dollar 1.3010, stop loss 20, take profit 80 with a hesitation at 1.3040. Good morning, Noachuku. How are you doing? Okay, there we go. Sorry, just wanted to put that in. Quite keen on that to push up. We're looking for that. We have been looking for that. So now again, back to the Kiwi. We had the news. Okay, so this was a trade that I did yesterday during just before I ended the stream. Yeah, the analysis and then the stream. So I saw Kiwi bouncing off that support at that point, between lines, at that point, got into, at that point, got into the buy. It pushed up a little bit before the surprising retail sales news on the US caused it to push down. It got stopped out at minus 20 pips there on the Kiwi dollar. Okay, so lost 20 on the Kiwi yesterday, didn't break above and pushed up. Now, if I had it a little bit wider, then could have made some money on that, but it's always an if, right? So now at this point, CPI, we know, we take that away for now. Support level is pushing up. Okay. I feel that if you wanted to buy at this point, it would be a little bit, you wouldn't put your stop loss down there, right? At best, you put it below this low, take profit up there to 30 pips. Yes, you could trade it up. Is it a good setup? I don't think so. I don't think so in particular, right? I think that it's too near with that trend line providing some downside resistance or upside resistance. I'm possibly thinking that I actually want to see. Hey Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? That. So it's holding 50, 61.8. Trend line. What I'm looking for is that it goes up to that trend line and then turns back down, right? So on the dollar front is it goes down, right? And then it pushes there. So it's reverse of that. Then you could be looking at 6.1. So below 6.1, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. That's what I'll be looking out for. a retest. If it's in the middle there, wouldn't be too keen, but I'm looking for it to retest and push back down. So what I'm looking here now is we've seen that reaction. Kiwi, we're looking to sell at 0.61, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. Okay. So that drop, I want to see that drop, the dollar index drop down to the support, which could push this up, maybe to that 61, maybe a little bit higher. Then if the dollar bounces back up, then we could see that retrace back down again. So I'm looking for that. Then onto the Aussie, you see that we were very keen on this. I don't think Basanta is on the session, but he was asking about this on the Aussie. This morning we were thinking that yes, hey, could the Aussie bounce back up? It didn't trigger that trade. Take that away. It's still sitting at this point, which now if you look at this and understanding that tomorrow we do have employment numbers to come from the Aussie, as much as the dollar index is pushing slightly to the downside, the Aussie is doing the same. Okay, so what we're possibly looking for here is for it to break below that 50 level. Okay, so I want it to break below 50, which is 6715, 6710, stop loss 30, take profit 60, 70 to the downside. That's what I want to see. Okay, that's what I want to see. So sitting along this support level needs to break 6710, 30 to 70 to the downside. Looking to sell at 0.6710, stop loss 30, take profit 70 to the downside. I feel like we could actually see the dollar test and bounce. That would be very interesting. So it's either that to do that, or if it does that, back up. That's going to be interesting. Okay. US yen dropping, dropping, dropping. It's coming to the point where we talked about yesterday. 157.10, 49. You can even go a little bit nearer to 40. I like that momentum. It's slightly, well, it's very, not slightly, it's very outside, does that make sense? It's very much outside of the Bollinger Band, so we want to be careful of that. Looks like it might retrace back up slightly, just as I was saying, it starts pulling back a bit, right? It's voice activated, price is voice activated, right? So I'm looking at this, maybe pulling back up slightly before pushing back down again. I'll keep to that view of 157.10, 40 to 120 to the downside. 157.10, stop loss 40, take profit 120 to the downside. I like that one too. Big, I don't think that's intervention. That's definitely not intervention. Okay, I like how that's working, so that's quite high on my list. Pound dollar we spoke about already. Euro dollar pushing back up. So while I got stopped out on the Kiwi to the downside, I was straight away selling because I was looking at that move, holding that resistance, holding on the euro. So as the dollar was pushing down, I was scalping it to the downside as well, and also as it broke that point down, scalping down, and then the next moment I was following the trend back up as it was upward trend. Right, so I was looking at that head and shoulder. It broke, but it was outside the Bollinger, so I just looked at it and said, okay, scalp it down, and then I bought it back up. All right, so when I bought it back up, left it till this morning, closed out at about that point there. So my trade was about there. Something, I can't remember the price exactly, but I closed out at 10 this morning, so it's about there. So like that, a good 20 pips back, and I was scalping that down. Okay, so that was my euro trade to the downside and the upside. Inverted, the head and shoulder pattern did not play out. It is still pushing back up right now. Needs to break that resistance for that upside potential. I'll keep to that view, maybe bring it back down slightly. Dollar weakness to drag it up. 1.0925, stop loss 20, take profit 55. 1.0925, stop loss 20, take profit 55 to the upside on the euro dollar. I like that one too. So I like 1, 2, and 3. I like this 3 a lot. On to the US Swiss franc, pushing down, same thing. The thing about what happened in the market yesterday was a lot, it's popped up and came back down and sat right across. Through today, it sat right across. So a lot of yesterday's analysis is still holding for today. What we're looking at here is for the US Swiss franc, we've seen that bearish flag or pennant to the downside is broken, it's pushing down. I'm looking for it now to react to that 0.89 level, and if it can break 0.89, I don't need that, put that on there. If it can break this 0.89, 61.8, this area, then you look to sell down 8895, stop loss 25, take profit 60 to the downside. You could even go a little bit tighter to go 20. Okay, so dollar index pushing down is going to drive it lower. I think dollar Swiss franc would drop to 8880. 8880. 8. What's there? I think what could happen is that it will sit there. If I could draw the way the thing would move, it would be come down, bounce, and then do that. Yeah, this area here. So that's why I'm looking at it to push down and bounce. There is going to be that crucial area here. So we do want to see a strong break of 8.9. If anything, I would revise it down to 8890, which is this point here. Well, we're looking at sell at 0.8890, stop loss 25 to 55. I want to enter that. Hang on. 25 to take profit 55. Wait, what's happening on the pound? Pound is pushing up. No, it's still not at my level yet. Dollar melted. Who light a fire and melted the dollar? Yes, dollar is melting. Thanks for that, Ronaldo. Pound is pushing up. I want to see that break. I think this will be quite interesting. This is quickly becoming a live trading session. See that one? That's something to look out for. You guys and your terms melted and dropped out of bed. I like that one. I like the US yen. But I do, you look at that. That's the Bollinger there. And the last time I was way outside, it came right back in. It does have that tendency, could have that tendency to pull back in, so something to watch out for. But there is still a lot of time. 3:37 right now, good 20 minutes before. To be honest, if I'm not on the stream, I would be scalping this down. All right, I'll be scalping this down and then looking for it to retrace and taking a longer term trade back down. Yeah, I see that pushing back up a little bit now. No big reason. I want to see it retrace a bit. I think that it's dropped a bit too much. Well, not too much. It's dropped a bit too quickly. It's very similar to being right outside. So if I miss this trade, I'll miss the trade, but I'm looking for it to maybe do that and then back down again. All right. On the pound dollar, that's forming up nicely. Still a little bit outside. That's why we pushed it up a bit. I want it to close above that 1.3010 level, which is getting there. Retrace a bit before closing. That one could be interesting. Euro, maybe not yet. This might be the right timing for the euro, right? As it slowly pushes up, might close the hour right at that point there. Then you could get in. Yeah, so pound dollar is slightly outside. You see it retracing a little bit right now. So what it needs to close above that point, or at least close up. If you take a little bit more risk, if it closes up, then you could get in a little bit earlier. Dollar is pushing down. You see that it's finding a support. With no big reason why it's melting, like Ronaldo says. I feel like it might. You're wary of things like that, right? Where it looks like it's going to break, but then it comes right back in. So we're going to sit and watch what happens at that support level. Let me finish the analysis. Good thing is we'll continue monitoring the prices, so do stay on the stream. Keep chatting away, let me know. We'll continue on that for now. USCAD, we were just looking at that before. We looked at it pushing up, now it's sitting right there. I don't think we can look for that. I think that 38.2, if the dollar melts away, then we'll be looking for that to break. Right, and what you're seeing is, right, now I really want to get done with the analysis and get into the trades. You're looking at that push up, and then after that, you're looking at that sitting right across. Okay, so with that said, dollar weakness, you're looking to sell down. 1.3655. 20 to 50 to the downside. Yeah, Ronaldo, I was just talking about that just then. Monetary policy Trump, monetary policy trumps Trump. Make a t-shirt for that. Monetary policy trumps Trump. Looking at this, add sell at 1.3655, 20 to 50. 1.3655, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. Sitting right there, need to see that reaction. Okay. Then on to gold. I was thinking that it would retrace down to this support and bounce. Someone was asking about this this morning. So my first thought as it was pushing down is it could retrace down to here and bounce up to 2500. It didn't do that. It got up to 2480, retrace. Now what you would be looking out for would be for it to break above 2480 to trade up to 2500. I feel that if it gets to 25, it's going to have a bit of a spike back and then push back up. But we look for that target first. Could continue higher, all right? So you want to see that. Dollar weakness, we're looking for price to break, well, price to trade higher, break 2480 up to 2500 or even 25. I don't think 2550. I think 2520 would be reasonable. 2520. Good morning, Jamil. I am doing super, especially now with the dollar melting away. That one's happening. Okay, so again, a quick recap. I want to get trading. Is Kiwi pushing up? We're going to see it test that resistance and possibly reject as an option. Aussie dollar sitting right there, well, pushing back up, but still along that support. We do have a news tomorrow. Preparing for some downside on the Aussie. I'll keep that. US yen is 15 minutes away from the hour close. It has retraced slightly. I like that. Watching that, it is outside of the Bollinger for now, so I want to see a bit more of a retrace. US or pound dollar pushing up 1.3010 is a key level. If it stays that way, we might see it pull back and then push back up. I'm looking for that. So 1.3010 and euro dollar I think will be one of the nice ones as it drags up. Look for it to break above that previous high, 1.0925 to the upside. So this again, these are my three favorites: US yen, pound dollar, euro dollar. US Swiss franc pushing down, could hit lower. Not one of my favorites. Just not one of my familiar ones. So it does look like it's going to push down. And US CAD to the downside on dollar weakness, but I think that US yen, pound dollar, and euro dollar is going to keep you busy enough. I'm not super keen on the CAD at this point. A lot of momentum for the pound dollar. Is it because of the news or dollar weakness? I think it is both, right? The dollar, the pound CPI at 2% does prop it up a little bit. And then the dollar pushing to the downside does prop it up, and also that has been, what am I doing? And also that has been in that consolidation is also helping, a breaking of that consolidation is also helping that push to the upside. All right, so those are the things I'm watching out for. Now, time for me to get back to my trades. We'll continue monitoring how price is moving on the stream, so don't log off yet. Continue chatting, asking questions, sharing your trade ideas. I'll be happy to chat with you there while I'm possibly going to scalp and get into positions for the yen, the pound, and the euro. So stay on, chat, share your trade ideas, and I'll catch you all tomorrow on the chat on Discord, or tomorrow on the live stream again. Take care now. I'll see you on the chat.